What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. I'm going to be here tonight doing all the team reviews that you want, all the trade questions, start sits, etc. As we get ready for week 4. Big week, going to be a very pivotal week, I think, for a lot of teams. I'm sure some of you guys are undefeated, looking to stay undefeated, going 4-0. Some of you guys might be 0-3, 1-2, and another loss in week 4 could really plummet your chances at being a playoff team. So a lot of important things need to be done, need to be decided in week 4. So we are here to help you guys out with that and your start sit questions, trade questions. Link is pinned in the comments if you want to follow that to get those answered, jump the line. I'll answer some questions in the YouTube chat here as always, but we will be over on the site doing team reviews, doing some whiteboards for you guys. There are already some trade questions that have already come in. And again, we'll be answering those for as long as you guys need. But I hope you guys are having a good one. And we are one day away from week 4 starting. What's up, David Elliott? 7 watching, only 1 like. Come on, get the ratio up. We got 60 people watching now, 15 likes. That's a lot better ratio. Let's try to get it up to as close to 100% as we can. To those of you who are watching, really would appreciate it if you could drop that like. Levi's number 2. What's up, Levi? We got Diablo said, need help. Matthew Golden or Jordan Addison is a flex. I would probably go, oh gosh. Looking at the matchups this week, we've got Minnesota taking on where's Minnesota? They got the Dublin game. They're taking on Pittsburgh. We've got Addison in the F tier this week. And then Green Bay is going to be going up against Dallas, which is not a bad matchup at all for him. We actually have Addison and Golden in the same tier this week. With Addison coming back and us with the passing volume being as low as it is, honestly, I would probably give it time for Addison and probably go ahead and start Golden there. So, yeah, hopefully that helps, man. Does Genty come alive this week? I hope so. I mean, we've moved him down our rankings a little bit, but it's not because we're low on him or anything like that. It's just we would like to see him get some of those touchdowns before we really show him his respect. It's the same thing as Amari and Hampton. Like, we had to move him down until we can move him back up, and that's just the reality of rankings. But with Ashton Genty taking on Chicago, I think that's a pretty solid matchup for him this week. So hopefully he can get the ball into the end zone, and then we'll be looking at a pretty solid outlook rest of the season if he can kind of string together multiple weeks of getting good goal line, red zone touches, etc. The volume is there. He just needs to have his breakout game. Again, appreciate you guys coming in. Hi, Avery. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. Never seen you here before, but looks like you're a new customer, so or a new fan of the channel. So if you want to get a trade question answered, Avery, go ahead and feel free to follow that link. Drop a question in there. I'll be happy to answer for you. We got Shy Guy, just traded Chuba and Njoku for McBride. Did I lose? No, that was a great deal. Absolutely great deal. Love that in redraft. Nathan, you're my loader fantasy football go. I love that. That's awesome. Start Omari and Hampton or Trey Benson. I would go with Hampton this week. I think Hampton's a little safer. I think Benson's moving up our boards for sure though. So, yeah, greetings everybody, our community, welcoming Avery to the community. Making tacos, it's your night off. Heck yeah. Heck yes. Hey Avery, there's something in our PO box. I totally forgot to go pick it up today. How far is our PO box from you? Levi sent us a gift, and it's in our PO box, and I meant to pick it up after we recorded today, and I haven't yet. One of you or I has to do it. You have the key, don't you? I have Justin Jefferson in a redraft, 1 PPR. I want to get a wide receiver and a running back in the trade. What should I do? I honestly would hold Jefferson until he produces at the level that we know he can, and then we can kind of reevaluate at that point. Benson or Javonte? Close, probably Javonte, because he's actually producing at a really high level right now. Benson hasn't yet. I think he will, but this week we'll go with Javonte over Benson. We need to talk about Marvin Harrison. Do we? I don't want to talk about Marv. I'm so done with Marv right now. I don't want to talk about him. He lost me by a week last week. If he didn't have stone hands, I would have won that matchup by like 5 or 6 points. So no, I don't want to talk about it. How much is the annual Mother Flocker subscription? Good question, Jaden. So that link that we've dropped in here, if you follow this link, there's an option there to sign up for the annual Mother Flocker tier. It is for the year, $97, which it ends up being like $8 a month, basically. So what you get with the Mother Flocker tier, when you use code domain, is you get access to literally all of our tools on the site. That's again that's the trade calculator, the weekly rankings, rest of season rankings, comparison tool, the prospect tool for off season, college prospects, etc. Like we literally have so many tools there, and they're coming out like crazy. So you have full access to all of that. You get full access to our Discord community as well. You get all of those locked channels unlocked. You have full access to our Discord. You'll have full access to Avery and I. You can send us DM on Discord, and we'll be happy to help you and have some one-on-one combos with you through Discord. And then you also get a team review voucher. So whether you're wanting to get like a whiteboard or a blueprint for a Dynasty team if you're in Dynasty or something like that, but you'll get a free team review that comes with that subscription as well, with I think like a couple of trade questions and start set vouchers. So that's just some of the things that are involved or that are included in the Mother Flocker tier, but hopefully that answers your question, man. Nathan, still haven't covered up the space behind him. I know, I literally have a sign. You can see it right down here. I have the sign there, and I'm so lazy that I have not hung it up yet. Every time I think about doing it, I'm like in the middle of something, and then I'm like, I'm gonna have to do it another time. But yeah, trade Josh Allen for Fields and Hampton, or for Fields and Henry. Yeah, I'm fine taking Henry there. If you really have, if you have significant need at running back, I would go ahead and just take the skill position there. Good question. Got Etienne and Kamara and Jamar. Should I trade Hampton and Ibuka for Drake London and Hampton? Wait. Got Etienne and Kamara and Jamar. Should I trade Hampton and Ibuka for Drake and Hampton? We got two Hamptons there. Trade Monty for Benson. Yes, I would do that. I like Monty a lot. I like Benson more because he's a running back one. So, all right, guys, let's head over to the site here. We got a number of team reviews to do for you guys, a number of whiteboards. So let's check some of those out. We got Cheddar's 44, who's actually the first one here. And again, if you guys want to get one of your teams reviewed tonight, one of your redraft teams reviewed tonight for a whiteboard, whiteboard will be sent after the review the day after. Then there's going to be the option there to sign up for the annual Mother Flocker tier, which gives you, when you use code domain, you have to make sure you use code domain. If you sign up for the annual Mother Flocker tier, you'll get a free voucher for a team review. And if you just want to go the a la carte route, there's an option, there's an a la carte button as well, where you can just buy that for the a la carte price. And you just select whiteboard, says redraft in all caps, parentheses, and I will do that for you tonight. Trade questions, start sit questions, etc. I've got you guys. So we got some super messages here from Jay Malberg. Let me actually do a couple of these first. Jay says, hey guys, is there anything more annoying than picking a tight end? When you stream tight ends, there is nothing more annoying than that. Just ask Bush in the Flock League. He's missed 3 straight weeks. Thoughts on Dalton or Ertz to start? I would assume that's Dalton Schultz. I would go Zach Ertz. I trust Zach Ertz more than I do Dalton Schultz consistently in their respective offenses. So, we'll go with Ertz there. Good question. And good luck every single week trying to figure it out. But I would probably stick with Ertz for the foreseeable future. This is actually a Dynasty question from Sky Moreno. Opponent's team also has Hampton. So this is Breece Hall and AJ Brown for a first and Quinshon Judkins. Looking at your roster, I'm assuming you're rebuilding here or reloading. Yeah, it looks like a reload here to me. Yep, definitely is. I will call this deal fair. I prefer, honestly, I think the first and Breece are fair, and I think Quinshon versus AJ Brown is also fair. So I'll call this a lateral move, and I'm good making that move. So Aussie89, hi guys. This is a blueprint. Sorry. Shade 1A. Ozzy, we will get to yours the next time we do a Dynasty stream, which should be on Friday. So shade 1A, this is Benson and Breece Hall. In a redraft, 1 QB, 10 team, start 8 PPR, Benson 4, Breece Hall. Benson's on his way up. Breece is on his way down. I don't want to be impatient with Breece. I'm going to call this one fair. If you want to make this move, I think it's honestly, I think Breece is a little bit safer. Benson, honestly, is probably your upside play. So if you want to go ahead and take Breece here, I have no issue with that. Good question. Tuggy Space Ghost just made this trade. Was it an overpay? Javonte and Jamar Chase for Bijan Robinson in an 8-team start 7. Holy cow, that's a shallow format. I mean, you barely even start Javonte in this format. Yeah, I'm totally cool with you taking Bijan here in an 8-team start 7. Yes. Leisha Dow. We got Patrick Mahomes and Travis Etienne for Jalen Hurts and a 1 QB 8-team start 7 PPR. Let's look at the rest of your team here. Jordan Mason, Javonte Henderson, Kyron, Derrick Henry, Nico JSN, Jamar Chase, Keenan Allen. I see why you're wanting to get the Russian QB here, because again, upside is so vital here in this format. Since it's another 8-team start 7 and you have all these guys at running back, you're right. Like you can't start ETN with all these guys that you have. So I will also call this one fair, just trying to maximize your upside as much as possible. I'm fine taking the Russian QB. Marv or Debo this week? If Terry McLaurin doesn't play, I think I would give the upper hand to Debo. Jalen Waddle or Matthew Golden. This is a Dynasty 2 QBs, 12-team start 9 PPR. I will take Matthew Golden here. I think his value upside is much higher than Jalen Waddle's. I don't love either of them, but I feel a little more optimistic about Golden. That's a good question. Again, guys, I'll keep dropping the link for you just so it's convenient, but follow that link. It's also pinned in the comments if you want to get your trade questions answered, start sits, etc. So got a question from Daryl here. This is a 1 QB 12-team start 8 PPR. This is Bucky Irving for Scattaboo and Olave. So this is actually a down tier. This is a normal league format. A lot of rookies here. You got Hampton and Henderson. You've got Lamb, who's injured. You've got Worthy, who's banged up. You have Downs. Oh, man. Your wide receiver room is... Woo! Whoo, it's in trouble. Okay, I see why you're looking to potentially do this. Here's my question for you. Could you just do Bucky for Nico? I don't honestly mind the structure because you're getting a running back and then you're getting Olave. I'm going to call this one fair, but my second option for you that I would look into is just Bucky for Nico. Both guys in the same tier. Yeah, your wide receiver room is cooked. Yeah, I mean, you should see one of my teams, dude. Legit, like 6 of my players got injured within a 2-week period or were heavily impacted from an injury. So like I had Higgins and Chase Brown on that team and Burrow got injured. And then I had CeeDee Lamb. I had Tyron Tracy, and I think I had like Aaron Jones. It was really rough. So that team's in shambles. I feel your pain. I feel your pain. All right, let's check out some of these teams here. Chris Godwin was a full participant in practice today, by the way. We're going to be conservative with Godwin's ranking this week. I'm probably not going to start him unless I absolutely have to in certain leagues. But it's nice to know that he's practicing. He's probably going to be on a snap count, I would guess. So let's look at Cheddar's 44. Let's look at your team here, man. This is a redraft 1 QB 12 team start 8 PPR non-tight end premium. Your team name is Yep, that's right. You're 2-1. And when you're looking at points for, you're kind of middle of the pack in terms of points for. You got a couple of top heavy guys here. Some guys have really blown up. Starvin Marvin, Laces Out, CD's Nuts, Neighbors in Paris they're all right by each other in terms of production. You're a little bit of a step down there, but you're looking pretty solid here. 4th in the power rankings. It won't let me ask a start sit question. Please help. Okay, well, I can tell you who your best start options here are here, Cheddars. So hopefully that helps you out. I don't want to leave you hanging there while we're reviewing your team. But let's check this out. So in a start 8, Dak and Tucker Kraft, obviously your onesie positions. And you got Bucky and Benson. I would start over Swift and Dobbins. And then you've got JSN, BTJ, Pearsall, and your choice of Keenan Allen, Swift, and Dobbins. Keenan Allen's producing right now, but he's got the lower floor. I would go Dobbins until he's like not producing. That would probably be my lineup for you this week, but with no CeeDee Lamb. This is a great roster. So Dak Prescott at QB is going to be towards the bottom of the league in terms of upside. Oh, you're right. This is CD's nuts. My bad. Thank you. Thank you. You saved me. Okay, let's look at your actual team. Yep. Okay, so Cheddar's 44. Team name is actually Yep. Kyler Murray is going to be graded at like a 3 or a 4 right now. CMC, Kyron, Chase Brown at running back. Chase Brown has taken quite a bit of a hit since Burrow went down. I'll still give you, because you have CMC and Kyron, I'll give you like a 7 there. You have Nico, Jacoby Myers, T. Higgins, Quentin Johnston, Tillman, Matthew Golden, and Rashad Bateman. So with that wide receiver room, I'll probably give you like a 5er, and then Trey McBride's going to be a 9 or 10. Very, very good wide receiver room, or very, very good team across the board. You're definitely struggling at wide receiver. That would definitely be a focus that I have for your team, is try to get some extra wide receiver help. I definitely think maximizing that upside of like your options beyond Nico Collins is going to be very important, especially with T. Higgins taking that big hit from Joe Burrow being out. So some of the trades that I would look for here with your team, and by the way, you're 2-1, so like you're in really good shape here. You've been able to recover and be fine, even though you have Higgins and Chase Brown getting 2 dubs, which is really impressive. I'm in a league where I have Chase Brown and T. Higgins. I'm 1-2, 0-3, something like that. It's really, really hurt me because they both started slow. So you guys are the best. Thanks. Braxton said, how do I submit my team for a review? Braxton, follow this link. And if you sign up for the annual Motherflocker tier using code DOMAIN, you will get a free team review voucher that you can submit your team, link your team, upload it, select the whiteboard option. That's the redraft option. And I'll do that for you tonight. There's also an a la carte option when you follow that link where you can just buy the whiteboard a la carte, and I'll do that for you as well. So yeah, looking at this, when it comes to the moves that I want you to make on this team, realistically, I do think it still is possible for you to move off of Chase Brown before he's like really, really not valued. Some people in your league might try to get him at a discount. When you're looking at the community ranks here, or not the community ranks, the expert ranks at running back, Chase Brown is consensus running back 22. And right around him is Trey Benson, Quinshon Judkins, Javonte Williams, Cam Scattaboo. Any one of those running backs I would take over Chase Brown. I think realistically you can probably pull off a Trey Benson or a Cam Scattaboo move. And both of those guys are producing and Chase Brown is not. And yeah, they're in worse offenses. Actually, that's not even true anymore because Burrow is down. So I would take either one of those running backs, one of those young guys, over Chase Brown. That's a good question, Kalos. For the NFL Fantasy app, we do not have an option for you to link your team in the My Teams tool on the site as of right now. What you can do if you're trying to submit a whiteboard for us to review for you, you can just upload screenshots of your team, and I'll take a look at those, and I'll grade it that way, analyze it that way. There's an option if you can't link your team with like a league ID to upload screenshots or upload pictures. Okay, so third move that I would be looking at here for you, or second move that I'd be looking at here beyond Chase Brown is consensus right now has T. Higgins at wide receiver 32. Let's see who's valued around him and if there's anyone that we would prefer. over him at the moment. Expert consensus has T. Higgins at wide receiver 29, actually. He's right there by Devonta Smith, Jameson Williams, Chris Olave. I would probably shoot for Chris Olave or Devonta Smith if I were you. Both of those guys are going to have some nice boom weeks, and their floor is going to be a little bit higher than T. Higgins because they're not in a super poor situation like he is currently. So that would be another move that I would look at. Another thing here is you have a good amount of depth, honestly, at wide receiver. I would take Jacoby Myers and Matthew Golden, and I would try to up tier. I like Jacoby Myers. I like Matthew Golden as individuals. I think you can get a nice little upgrade there. And this is one where, since you are 2-1, and looking at your starting lineup, we have Kyler McBride, CMC, Kyron, Chase Brown or whatever running back you get back, Nico Collins, T. Higgins or whatever wide receiver you get back for him if you move him, and then a third probably wide receiver there. So you can, like, you would be able to survive here because you have QJ, so you would just start QJ. I would take Jacoby Myers and Matthew Golden, and I would try to up tier to like a Rashee Rice. If you could pull that off, that would be absolutely sick. I know you would be sacrificing, you would be sacrificing a couple of weeks of production because he's not going to be back for a few more weeks. But another option would honestly be Jameson Williams as well. JMO was kind of a disappointment last week against Baltimore. That's just part of what happens when you invest in a Jameson Williams. But if you can get him at a decent discount right now, I would try to capitalize there. So that would be your third move. So we got basically a couple of pivots and then an up tier there. And I mean, when you're looking at waiver priorities here, I do think, as much as I don't love that Josh Downs is not producing at the level that we thought he could this year, you got to get Josh Downs off waivers. And a 12-team start 8 PPR, the fact that he's on waivers is unreal. I would drop literally every single penny that you have left in Fab on Josh Downs. He should not be on waivers. One nice thing about Downs this week is, yeah, it's a tougher matchup against the Rams, kind of middle of the road in terms of wide receiver production, but Alec Pierce is in the concussion protocol, and he's actually been schematically the wide receiver 2, getting more snaps over Josh Downs because Downs has only been in there in 3 wide receiver sets. Expect to see him on the field more this week when Alec Pierce is out of the concussion protocol or is in the concussion protocol, and then maybe you could like offload him later at a premium because of that. Hopefully that helps, man, with some recommended moves for this team. But overall, I mean, able to stay the course and just kind of make a couple of adjustments based off of the Chase Brown and T. Higgins stuff in Cincinnati. You don't have to force a T. Higgins move if the value isn't there, but I would definitely explore offers at least and see if anyone's trying to quote unquote buy low at like not really that much of a discount price for T. Higgins, when really rest of the season we're just not super optimistic that he's going to be consistently productive in that situation. But again, if you have to wait a couple weeks for that to come to fruition, that's fine. Let me know if you guys have any, or let me know if you have any questions, follow-ups. I'm not sure if you're on stream here, but again, happy to help, and your whiteboard will be sent to you tomorrow. And again, guys, if you want to get your team reviewed, if you want to get start-sit questions answered, trade questions, etc., I'll be happy to help you tonight. Drop a like if you haven't. We got 175 people watching right now, 50 likes. So we've got like 125 of you that are watching right now that haven't dropped a like. I'd really appreciate it if you did that. It really, really helps out the channel quite a bit. So it pushes it out to our audience and lets them know that we're here and that we exist and that fantasy football is alive and well, and we're here to help you guys with that. So really appreciate that if you could drop a like. Okay, let's move on to our next one here from Alicia Doe. Actually, let me check and make sure there aren't any trade or start sit questions here. Guys, is it time to drop Travis Hunter? No, don't drop Travis Hunter right now. Okay, so we got a question from IFRT 2002. Have both, no clue, and Benson plays Thursday. Benson and Genty. We'll go with Genty this week. He's already getting 20 carries, 15 to 20 carries. We're expecting Benson will get 15 to 20, but we haven't seen it yet. So we'll give the upper hand to Genty this week. Jared Goff at QB. We got JSN, Amon-Ra at wide receiver, Nico in your flex, Harold Fannin at tight end. Yeah, we'll stick with that. You don't have to force starting Trey Benson this week if you don't have to. So that will be the plan. Appreciate your question there, man. Happy to help you. Psychality says he's got a start-sit question here. Baker at QB, Quinshawn at running back, Genty or Dobbins at running back. When you're looking at the tiers that we have both of these guys, and we got Genty in the C tier. We also have Dobbins in the C tier. They're going to be very close this week. Dobbins playing Cincinnati, Genty going up against Chicago. These are both very, very friendly matchups. My gut tells me Genty, because if he's got a friendly matchup and gets to the goal line, he's going to score. So I will go with Genty there. He doesn't have anybody breathing down his neck, and RJ Harvey could literally any given week. He's already getting 30% snap share. JSN and Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver, Trey McBride, Puka Nacua flexing. That's ridiculous. Basically comes down to J.K. Dobbins or Keenan Allen here. And I'm not going to lie, dude. I mean, Keenan Allen, first 3 weeks, 19, 17, and 19 points. Until he's not getting less than 8 targets a game, we got to start Keenan Allen. Like, got to do it. So I cannot believe that's the case, but it is. It absolutely is. The Jake said, how can I send a comment with my message? Jake, if you're talking about like how to send in a super chat or a trade question, etc., follow this link and all of those options will be there if you have a start, sit, or trade question, and I will answer them for you there. Let me know if you have any questions on that. If Godwin is healthy, what about him? Yeah, Psychality, that's a good question. I mentioned that earlier. Godwin is practicing in full right now. He had a full practice today, logged it, which was great. Usually a guy that's coming off of an injury like that, even with Evans being out, we want to be a little bit conservative with to see if he's going to be on a snap count. Because the only thing we've heard is that he's practicing. We have not been told if he's going to be a full go, if he's going to be on a snap count, or what. And when you're faced with a starting running back, a starting wide receiver who's already producing at the level that you would hope Chris Godwin would produce at, coming off of an injury, then you probably just want to go with those other guys in the first week that he's back. If that makes sense. X Skull Razor, looks like we got you, man. Appreciate you. We will be getting to yours soon. You are the man. Okay, so let's do Alicia Dow's. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right. Sacks in the City. Need help optimizing my team after a devastating loss this week. Thinking of dropping DJ Moore and Keon Coleman for Keenan Allen. And Trey Benson. League mates are more set it and forget it. So lots of good waiver wire pickups available. What else might you recommend? Okay, so you are 2-1. Like you said, devastating loss. You still are up there in terms of points for, which is good. This is an 8-team start 7. Lots of waiver wire guys here. Okay, do you... Oh, my goodness. My goodness. Rashee Rice on waivers is... That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Holy cow. Who can we drop? Hey, do this with... Since you have Tucker Kraft, drop Travis Kelce. Okay, number 1 recommendation for this team. Number 1 move. Number 1 comment. Drop Travis Kelce and go get Rashee Rice before he comes back healthy, because you're gonna have to start him every single week when he's back. And I understand why he's available on waivers, because this is an 8-team, but holy cow, like, gotta go get Rashee for sure. And I would get ahead of the game there. So middle of the road with Patrick Mahomes. I love it. I mean, he's showing more rushing upside than we've seen in quite a while, because he has to put the team on his back. Salvage his day in what was a pretty poor day against the Giants, but had 13 points before that, 26 and 23. He's running the ball like 5-6 times a game. So that's good to see from him. Derrick Henry, Kyron Williams, Javonte, ETN, Benson, Henderson, and Mason. I mean, that's still that's the second best running back room in the league here for sure. This is definitely like an 8, even in an 8-team. Jamar Chase, JSN, Nico Collins, Keenan Allen. Going to be probably more middle-ish of the road, since Jamar Chase has lost quite a bit of value. Nico's more hit or miss. JSN's your most consistent guy for sure. I'll give you like a 5 there, and then Tucker Kraft is going to be good for a grade of we'll be conservative and go like 6 right now. So overall looking pretty good here. You're 2-1. Some of the moves that I would be looking at doing. This is a start 7. So every week you're starting Mahomes, Kraft, Derrick Henry, Kyron, JSN, Nico, and honestly probably Jamar Chase. Every single move that you should be making on this team is up tiering, up tiering, up tiering, up tiering, up tiering. You need 3 viable flex options that are on your depth, and that is it. That is absolutely it. Every single move here should be an up tier. So here we go. We're going to take Travis Etienne and we're going to up tier. When you take Travis Etienne, you can take, I don't care, Javonte, Trey Benson, Travion Henderson, Jordan Mason. You choose any combo of those guys, and we're gonna up tier at running back. Honestly, since I don't care of any of those guys who you package together and up tier to, I'm going to give you 4 different running back up tier targets, and then I'll just list 2 guys here. So like take ETN up tier, take Benson or Mason and up tier there as well. First move is going to be getting up to Omari and Hampton. Not everybody has adjusted to Omari and Hampton producing at a high level. There are still some people that suspect that are a little sussy about Omari and Hampton, and I would try and go get Omari and Hampton. That'd be a really nice up tier. I would also try to up tier to get Josh Jacobs. Right now, Josh Jacobs has been like anywhere from 12 to 15 points the first 3 weeks. His expected fantasy points and his expected production based off of like touchdown opportunity, lack thereof, is actually a lot higher than what his real production has been the first few weeks. I would expect him to bounce back quite a bit. Another guy that I like here as an option would be, we will look at, honestly, probably Alvin Kamara. I would like to go target an Alvin Kamara. And another cheaper option, if you're going to do like a smaller up tier, is if you want to, honestly, I don't want to go cheaper. Let's go Bucky. So we'll go Bucky, Jacobs, Hampton, and we'll go Kamara for your 4 running back up tier options. Third move that I'll have you make here is we will go ahead and take, ooh. Let's take Jamar Chase and let's try to go get Amon-Ra St. Brown. Let's take like Jamar Chase and up tier, and we'll go get Amon-Ra. Use whatever depth piece it takes to go get an Amon-Ra, a Puka, but go ahead and do that. I think you'll get more consistency from Amon-Ra specifically. Puka might be a little more untouchable. But either one of those guys I'd be totally happy with if you up tier from Jamar Chase. So those will be your 3 moves there. And then again, looking at your waivers, your weakest room is definitely wide receiver. So I would try to capitalize on some high upside wide receivers that are available on waivers right now. Rashee Rice would be my number 1 choice. I would drop Kelsey for Rashee Rice. And then the next guys that you're looking at there, Waddle, DJ Moore, Godwin, that's going to be up to you, who you want to, kind of grab there. Whatever is going to help you to just package depth and up tier is going to be worth picking up on waivers. So let me know if you have any questions or follow-ups on this, man. But in an 8-team start 7, you're looking like you're still in pretty good shape. Even after a tough loss, I think you're going to be fine. You're looking to be probably one of the top teams in the league for sure. So King Gui is going to be up next here. And again, guys, if you want to get your team reviewed, if you want to get a whiteboard after we review your team, follow this link. You also have a start sit trade question option as well. And of course, it's bugging out on me. But let's go ahead and do these next reviews after it lets me do this. Again, guys, drop a like if you haven't already. Would really, really appreciate it. Got 180 of you guys watching, 71 likes. If we could get that up, that would be sick. Would really, really appreciate it. Helps us out a ton. So we got multiple trade questions, start sit questions here from you peeps. We got Steph likes Miners, Pearsall to Judkins rejected, and Benson Addison rejected. So this is a Dynasty 1QB 12 team start 8 PPR. Benson in a second for Ricky Pearsall. Benson's gaining value, but so is Pearsall. You have JT at running back, and that's it. Chase, AJ Brown, Rice, Worthy, Godwin at wide receiver. It's not bad. I'll call this fair. I see why you want to do this. You have some need at running back, and I don't think it's a bad deal at all because I do think Benson is on his way up. Good question there, Steph. Appreciate you. We got a start sit from DeBeast. We got Jalen Hurts at QB. We've got Hampton at running back, JJ at wide receiver, Tucker Kraft at tight end over Fannin. I agree. Derrick Henry in your flex. Okay, got to go Judkins and Scattaboo here. Got to go the running backs. That upside is just crazy with all those running backs in your flex. Terry's banged up. Devonta Smith's a wide receiver too. I would much rather start multiple bell cow running back ones in my flex over Devonta Smith. Even though any given week Devonta Smith can outproduce those guys, but your floor is a lot higher with those running backs. All right, Bootlegger Brax. Looks like we got you in, and we got Tiwu as well. I got some start sits from R. Lacroix. We got Mahomes at QB, which I'm good with. You have Jacobs, James Cook, Amon-Ra, Garrett Wilson, Trey McBride. Flex, I can tell, are going to be difficult here. Adams, Flowers, Benson, Warren. Let's go Adams going on against the Colts. Let's go Flowers, and then we'll go Benson over Jaylen Warren. That's kind of a shot called. I feel pretty good about it this week. I think he's going to be real solid. I think his upside's higher than Jaylen Warren's. Psychality got another start sit from you, brother. So let's look at this. RB2, golly, Jacobs. Oh gosh, this is going to be hard. Wide receiver, JSN for sure. Who are your non-negotiables, basically? JSN and Neighbors are your non-negotiables. Tight ends, what the heck? Warren. And then flex, Javonte, Judkins, Genty, Nico, Igbuka, Rome. Who's been producing the most consistently? It has technically been Rome Odunze. Now, the interesting thing is Igbuka's taking on Philly, tougher matchup, no Mike Evans. Odunze's been getting more target volume. Let's go Odunze. You need to make some up tiers there, bro. That is a pain in the butt trying to figure that out every single week. Appreciate you. NSAB22, do I do this? Or maybe JSN plus Bowers for Amon-Ra plus McBride? Or do I just stay for now? So first and JSN. Nope, not anymore. JSN and a first for Amon-Ra. Not doing this anymore. I really like Amon-Ra. JSN is now, like in Dynasty, he's a mid-second round pick. He's no more than a half round away from Amon-Ra. So I would hold JSN at this point. I would rather do JSN and Bowers for Amon-Ra and McBride. If you can get Amon-Ra and McBride, I don't see the value difference between Bowers and McBride that significant. And you're getting the upgrade, which is not that significant from JSN to Amon-Ra. So that's the one that I would rather do. So I'll put that one down. I feel like I answered this one earlier today, but I would rather do this one. Feel like you got to go Emeka this week. Yeah, I can't blame you for that, honestly. The one thing is the matchup is going up against Vegas. Their defense and their secondary specifically is not nearly as tough as going up against Quinyon Mitchell and what's his name from Iowa. golly, I'm blanking on his name, Cooper DeJean. I mean, their secondary is really so. Their defense as a whole is really, really good. So I'm not saying that Baker isn't going to be productive and that Egbuka's not going to be productive. That's what makes it so difficult is those toss-ups. Like I would be up tiering if I were you. Again, guys, if you want to get your trade and start sit questions answered, feel free to follow this link. It's also pinned in the comments for you. So let's get going. Let's do a couple more of these. So we've got King Gui. This is ladies and gentlemen. I'm struggling who to start at my flex. I'm close to giving up on Genty. So number one comment for this team, I would not give up on Genty yet. You're 1-2. When you're looking at your points for, you are towards the bottom of the league. But I do think we can recover here just looking at your personnel. Number one, you have Rashee Rice coming back in a few weeks. If you can be even like, honestly, 2-4 would be recoverable. Ideally, I'd like you to be 3-3. I think you can manage 3-3. I think you can get to 3-3 for sure with this team. Comment number one for this team: do not panic on Ashton Genty yet. Do not sell him low. He's getting bell cow work right now, and he's just has not punched it into the end zone. I'll say the same thing with Genty that I said with Hampton last week before he went off. We'd be having a totally different conversation about Genty right now if he had gotten the ball in the end zone, because the volume is there. This is actually not even close to the same conversation as Omari and Hampton because he's not splitting a backfield with anyone. Hampton was getting carries taken away by Najee in those last 2 weeks, and Genty isn't getting carries taken away from anybody. So I would go ahead and stick with Genty here. As far as looking at your positional strengths, Justin Herbert and Dak Prescott I think is really solid. I'll give you a 5 there. Derrick Henry, Ashton Genty, Travion Henderson, Jordan Mason. I'm still going to give you a high grade there, man. I mean, that's in a 12-team start 7. That still is not bad. I think that's a 6 or a 7. JSN, Rome Odunze, Lab McConkey, Rashee Rice, going to be another like 6 or 7, and then Dallas Goedert's going to be good for a 2. But you can get by with Dallas Goedert, no problem. He's been productive when he's healthy. He usually is every single year. Looking at the guys available on your waivers, you got Rashid Shaheed available on the waivers. He's by far and away the best guy available there. If you actually look at Rashid and his production, he's had like 8-9 points a couple of weeks, and then he had like a 20-pointer. So I would go and try get Rashid Shaheed off waivers for a decent price. That would definitely be my top waiver priority for your team. And then the rest, again, is just going to be, I think, building out any sort of serviceable wide receiver options to back up your top guys. Move number 1. One guy that I might be panicking a little bit on is Lad McConkey because of how disappointing he's been with QJ and Keenan Allen kind of taking away from him. If you can move Lad McConkey, if you can pivot from Lad to Cortland Sutton or Zay Flowers after what was a slow week for Zay, I would try to do that if I were you. I do think that would be possible if you could swing either of those. And then a third move or a second move here. Let's look at, I don't want to move Henderson either. You're kind of in a pickle with Genty and Henderson. You kind of just have to wait for them to get more work. Jordan Mason I like in the short term. There are some other running backs in his price range that I like over the course of the entire remaining season. So with that in mind, like Cam Scadaboo, I'd rather have Cam Scadaboo over Jordan Mason. I would also rather have Trey Benson over Jordan Mason. And again, I like Jordan Mason a lot. I just think there are a couple of guys that are right around his price range that I would trust a little bit more. So that'd be my second move for you. And then my third move here would probably just be some sort of upside up tier. Like, hey, can we move like Blake Corum for Braylon Allen? Blake Corum realistically is probably not going to get a ton of work unless Kyron Williams were to go down. Braylon Allen already kind of getting touches here and there. Over like his snap share went back up this week. He had 6 carries again. it's kind of just like a, hey, let's mess around with our depth, make like a little swap, see if we like the outlook of some running back over another. I think I'd probably go ahead and just make a pivot there, or you could even do, if you end up getting Scattaboo, what would be really nice as insurance is getting Tyron Tracy just in case. So that would be my third move for you, is Blake Corum for like a Tracy or a Braylon Allen type of running back. So let me know if you have any questions on those moves, man. I think overall you're going to be in pretty good shape here. I don't want you to make any like super desperate moves. I really think that like you still have a strength with Derrick Henry. I know he's been slow the last couple of weeks, but you'll be able to recover from that. JSN and Rome Odunze have been awesome. And if you can kind of raise your floor a little bit with your wide receiver 3 spot, then you're going to be chilling, absolutely chilling. Any questions or any follow-ups, please feel free to reach out and let me know. Happy to help, but we'll get that whiteboard to you probably by tomorrow. Let's look at Jake Paul's team here. 2-1. I have a depth problem, so start sit is hard. I traded Marvin for Pickens before the season, always active. Sending trades, have not since Marv traded. I don't want to upgrade QB because of tight end, wide receiver stack with Dak. I'm kind of sending some 2-for-1s with Mason Ladder, Mason Pickens. Help with trades with my depth. Go Colts. Heck yeah, go Colts. Let me see if you made any comments here. No, not this one. Sorry, I'm double checking something else real quick on another screen. Again, guys, if you want to get your start sit questions answered, trade questions, want to get a team review tonight, feel free to follow that link and I'll be happy to help you out. The Jake just sent his question in. Awesome. Let me get to that actually. I'll answer a couple of questions that have come in before I do the next review. All right, this is from Carlos. This is a trade question in a Dynasty 1 QB 10 team start 9. Jalen Waddle or first. In a 10 team 1 QB start 9, I would like to know where this first is because it's a very QB heavy class, which doesn't matter as much in a 1 QB format. So you'd want to probably be a little earlier. I'm fine taking the first here. I call this fair. This is a start sit from Fairy Jaw. This is the Jake's team. Should I upgrade? Who should I trade for to get rid of? Well, let me look at your starting lineup here first. We got Lamar, CMC, Hampton, Romadun's and Malik Neighbors, tight ends. Looking at Ertz, Henry, Loveland. Hunter Henry's been on a tear. May as well start Hunter Henry. Oh, man. Okay, so yeah, this is difficult. Who you're flexing this week. Probably got to go with Judkins because of his work, and then probably got to go with Igbuka. And I feel pretty good about that. As far as like any upgrades that you want to look into, I would probably try to upgrade from like Devonta Smith. I would try to just kind of consolidate your depth. It's nice to have a couple of high upside depth options. But if you could take like Devonta Smith and Charbonnet and up tier there and try to get a wide receiver 1, like if you could try to get up to like an AJ Brown, that would be awesome. That would probably be the one thing that I would look at there. I think other than that, though, like, should you upgrade beyond that? No, because I do like the depth pieces that you have. Like, it'll be a little tough week in and week out to decide this, but I do think it'll kind of become more and more clear the more data we get on a weekly basis with who's going to produce and who's going to not. And Quinshawn and Ibuka are consistently producing right now, so you feel pretty good about starting both of them. Hopefully that helps, man. Let me know if you have any questions on that, follow-ups. Psychality, got a trade question. Nico for James Cook. This is a 1 QB 6 team start 7 PPR 6 team start 7. Yeah, go for it. If you need the running back help, you have Bijan, Jacobs, Genty, Judkins, Javonte. Holy cow. And then you have Neighbors, JSN, Odunze. Yeah, go ahead and do this. I'm good with that move in a 6 team. 6 teams are crazy, dude. Absolutely crazy. All right, Jake Paul's team. So you are number 2 in the power rankings here. Team name's Daddy. We got Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott. This is a 1 QB 12 team start, a half PPR non-tight end premium. We have Bijan, Hampton, Jordan Mason, Charbonnet, Tootin, Kareem Hunt, Giddens at running back. Those are all real solid. I love Bijan, Hampton, and Mason as your top 3. I mean, I would give you that. That's 2 top 12 running backs, so that's got to be like good for probably an 8 rest of the season. Sutton, Igbuka, Ladd, Pickens, Pearsall. That's going to be like a 7. And then Jake Ferguson, probably like a 3 right now. 3 or 4. He's had a couple of really good games, high target games. I'll give you a 4. So across the board here, pretty solid. I do think the upside lies at running back. You're just serviceable at QB and tight end. And then you've got some nice depth at wide receiver. So in a start 8 half PPR, we want to prioritize guys that aren't depending on their production from just sheer target volume and no yak ability, but more guys that have big play yak ability that don't require a crazy amount of target volume to be highly productive. So like in a half PPR, I would love Jameson Williams, for example, because he's just such a big boom and bust player sometimes, but very high upside in that regard. And like any reception, he can drop like 5 points. Psychology said 6 teams are horrible. Yeah, that doesn't sound super pleasant, honestly. That does not sound pleasant at all. So some moves that I would make for this team, again, I'm probably going to be looking at up tiers here. Like Charbonnet and Bashal Tootin are two running back 2s right now, where they do have a good, decent bit of volume here. I mean, when you got expert rankings here, Bashal Tootin are running back 35, Zach Charbonnet at like running back 34. They're back to back. Actually, if you could get a tier up there for someone who's actually producing right now, I mean, I would tier up and try to get David Montgomery, or I would try to get a even like a Jalen Warren. I would do like Jalen Warren or David Montgomery there. So either one of those guys I would up tier from. Another option that you could do is take like Jordan Mason and package him with Charbonnet or Tootin and get a tier up there as well. And if you wanted to tier up there, you could get your hands on a guy like Javonte or Chuba. Either one of those targets would be really nice. And then looking at a guy like Ladd, I mean, you've seen kind of what his floor has been. A lot of people are really, really low. For as low as people are on Ladd right now, I think people might be lower on BTJ. See if you could swing a BTJ, even if it took a depth piece, even if it took a Tootin or a Charbonnet to include there. Try to go get BTJ. And then another option there who just kind of has high upside ability, you're probably looking at Tyreek Hill. And I think Tyreek Hill is not a bad option either. So either one of those I think would be a pretty solid move. And George Pickens and Pearsall right now, honestly, I'm probably going to hold both of those guys. I want to see one more week. I want to see Pickens for a week without CeeDee Lamb. A lot of people are a lot higher on Pickens than they were previously. They've moved him up quite a bit because of the Lamb injury. If you can get an overpay where you could legit get like a BTJ for George Pickens, then just take that deal and run like right now. But I'm comfortable holding George Pickens at this point, given your current situation at 2-1, because you're winning games. Kayla said, where do I go to upload screenshots of my team since I can't sync my league? So if you go, let me just show you here. So if you go to flockfantasy.com, which I assume you're already there, I also assume that you used code domain. You got to make sure you use code domain, and then you'll get a voucher for our team reviews specifically. But what you'll do is after you sign up, Make sure, by the way, that you go to your account page and make sure that in here where it says enter code, it actually says domain in there. If there is no code in there, put domain in there, apply it, and then you'll be able to get that voucher. But once that's done, you'll just go to personal advice, you'll go to team review, and then you'll select non-linked team. See this button right here, non-linked team, you'll continue. You'll continue after you put in your league settings. So like 12 team, 1 QB, et cetera, et cetera. And then what you'll do here is you'll essentially just click and drag the non-linked team, and you'll upload your screenshots here, and then you'll just continue through the checkout process. And then there's a little drop down that says whiteboard, and then you'll select that whiteboard. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully that helps you, brother. So, Jake, let me know if this makes sense for your team. I mean, as far as Purdy, Dak, and Jake Ferguson are concerned, no, they're not the highest upside guys that you can have at those positions. That honestly is not my priority. That's what you sacrifice when you fade QB and tight ends, and I think a lot of times it's worth it. I mean, look what Ferguson has been doing for you. You're totally fine starting him every single week. You'll be chilling there. When you're looking at the guys available on waivers right now, nothing really pops out. Honestly, probably just go based off of your biggest areas of need. You can get a little safe backup to Jake Ferguson if you want to. You could go for another depth piece at wide receiver. Like it really is just going to be up to you and who's available there on waivers for insurance pieces. Like you don't really need Giddens. Like you can take Jerome Ford. He's actually getting snaps right now. You could just drop Giddens, go ahead and get Jerome Ford if you wanted to. But again, those are some ideas for this team. But overall, I think you're going to be in pretty good shape here. Best of luck to you at 2-1. Hope you can get another one this week and advance to 3-1. Now, yeah, no problem, man. Happy to help you. All right. Got some trade questions here. DTS. This is a redraft 1 QB 10 team start 7 PPR. Dobbins and Keenan Allen for Brees and Zay. Smash. Not even close. I like Brees and Zay there. Great trade. Great trade. This is a 1 QB 12 team start 8 PPR. This is Quinshawn and Ibuka for Jahmyr Gibbs. Got this trade done, but low on depth now. Probably still a dub though, right? I mean, you have Bucky, Brees, and now you have Gibbs. And then you have London, Marv, and then Rice coming back healthy. No Ibuka, which is a big hit, but I think you can handle it because you got Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, yeah, nice move. Got one of the best fantasy assets in redraft this year. All right, next up is going to be these are Dynasty, and Dynasty. Okay, so IC flat is going to be our next redraft here. Let me check something real quick here. Okay. So IC Flat's team is Blue Tent Committee. Looks like in the power rankings, you are in last. Having a tough time trying to trade with people in this league, although my packages on Flock say they're fair trades. As expected, Marvin Chase Brown values have dropped significantly, so props to my opponents for not jumping the gun, but now I have my hands tied. Yeah, so let's look at your team. So you're 1-2 right now. In terms of points for, you got 301, which is going to be last in the league. Baker is serviceable even in a 10 team. He's totally fine. He's very consistent. You know what you're getting from him. You're kind of middle of the pack there. Josh Jacobs, Chase Brown, Dobbins. After Josh Jacobs, you're right. You do kind of have a cap ceiling there. Chase, that's unfortunate. Marv, J-Mo, Pickens, and then Shakir. And then we got Dalton Kincaid here. So here's the great thing about a 10-team start 7. When you're in a situation like this and you've got to maximize your upside as much as possible, it's actually more achievable in a 10-team than it would be pretty much in any other format, because you're starting 70 players every single week, which means that your depth doesn't really matter here. I mean, you've got Baker and Kincaid, and then you have Jacobs, Chase Brown, Dobbins, Chase, and Marv. And then J-Mo, Pickens, and Shakir are all on your bench. Really, at this point in time, given your points for and you being probably a significant step down from the rest of your league mates, this is where desperate times call for desperate measures, and this is where I would sacrifice having 3 solid bench options, and I would literally up tier at least 2 times to a point where you literally only have one other bench option that you feel really comfortable with, and then you just ride it out and hope that your upside can take you really far. Looking at the waiver options in this league, Aaron Jones on IR right now, Tyron Tracy out for the week or for a couple of weeks. I would go ahead and just shoot your shot with both of those guys. Since they're even available on waivers, I would drop Rico Dowdle, and I would probably drop Cedric Tillman, and I would go get Aaron Jones and Tyron Tracy. I'd rather have those guys for the hopes that they'll come back and maybe do something, or even have some sort of value where you could package them in up tier once they're back healthy, than sticking with Tillman and Dowdle. So with the moves that I want you to make here, like you said, you're not really able to pull off much with Chase Brown. I would, here's what I would do. First up tier, I would up tier from J.K. Dobbins. And this deal could include Chase Brown, where it's literally Dobbins and Chase Brown for a more valuable running back. When you're looking at the rankings at the running back position right now, rest of season, Dobbins is kind of down there in the money range. If you're including Chase Brown, though, who's even higher than him, I mean, you're probably looking at getting up to, I would try for a Kyron. Or I would try to buy low on someone like Genty that a lot of people are freaking out on. Here's the thing. If people are freaking out about Chase Brown because of his low production, that also means they're freaking out about other guys that are producing at a low level. Ashton Genty. I'm not recommending that everybody target Ashton Genty right now in fantasy, but with your specific situation, it makes total sense for you to package your depth up tier and go take the shot on Genty and hope that he starts popping off. Next move that I would make here. I would go ahead and take Dalton Kincaid, and I would take a depth piece. Actually, no, let's stick with Kincaid. Tight end's not our priority right now. We need to work on wide receiver. Let's take Khalil Shakir, and let's up tier from him. Let's try to get up to Quentin Johnston. We'll go for Quentin Johnston or a DJ Moore. We'll try QJ or DJ Moore. Try one of those guys. Could also try Xavier Worthy. Any 3 of those guys are fine targets. And an up tier from Shakir. After a slow week from J-Mo, I would be cautious, but I would see if you can move J-Mo for Sutton or Flowers, because Flowers had a slow week. See if you could pull that off. Like a J-Mo for a Sutton or a Flowers. What you could also do is try to ride the hype with Ricky Pearsall. You can move J-Mo for Ricky Pearsall. That would be more of a pivot. And just kind of keep your fingers crossed. Hope that Ricky Pearsall stays the wide receiver 1 in that offense for the rest of the year. those are going to be your 3 moves. Again, desperate times, desperate measures. Like your points 4 are pretty rough, and you did suffer a big loss from Chase Brown and Jamar Chase. Like that's the reason that you're really struggling here. And that was something that was totally out of your control. So we do need to adjust, and we don't need to panic, but we do want to be kind of aggressive and kind of go a little bit balls to the wall with some of the moves that we're making. This is a point where the potential upside of these guys are going to outweigh the risk, because you're already very high risk when it comes to the status of your team compared to everybody else in the league with your production and whatnot. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions or follow-ups on that. But I definitely think that this is easily salvageable. You have the depth at wide receiver, and you have the depth at running back to make a couple of up tiers here to maximize your upside. All right, guys, feel free to follow that link that I just dropped in the comments. If you want to get your team reviewed, if you want a trade question, answer to start, sit, etc. I'll be here for you answering these as long as you need. It's also pinned in the comments as well. So we got a trade question from Wide Simple. Did I get fleeced? I have Neighbors, McConkey, and Zay. Jalen Warren, Ricky Pearsall, and Pickens for Harvey and Lamb. Redraft 1 QB 12 team, start 7. You got Lamb? I mean, Lamb will be out for a few weeks, but then he'll be back. I would call this, I mean, I like Lamb here in a 12-team start 7. If you can afford it, you have Neighbors and Ladd, like you can live for a couple weeks until Lamb is back. I like that move. Got to start sit from Vice City. Denick said Nathan minus redraft. I got you, brother. Thank you. Yeah, I noticed that they don't show picks and they show waivers, and it's labeled as redraft, so that's helpful. Thank you. Vice City 34. This is Drake, May, or Mahomes. Let's go with Mahomes this week. Running back, we've got Bucky, Hampton, Judkins, Henderson, Chase Brown. Who do we have to start? We have to start Bucky. We have to start Hampton. Wide receiver. Got to start JSN. Have to start Jefferson. His floor is so high. Even though Jefferson has been so disappointing, I mean, he's like, his floor is just so high. It's ridiculous. Flex is where it gets tough. Ted McMillan actually has a calf injury right now, so I'm a little more weary of starting him this week if you have a say in it. So I would go Sutton and I would go Quinshon. Chase Brown, not consistent. Henderson, TBD. Lamb is injured. Tet, banged up. Godwin, TBD. Fannin, obviously you're not starting a tight end. So I feel pretty confident about that starting lineup. Again, guys, if you haven't yet, drop the like. Go ahead and do that if you don't mind. 160 people watching right now, 90 likes. That's awesome. That's a pretty good like rate, honestly. Let's keep getting that like rate up. Hey, maximum efforts. Looks like this is showing that you have draft capital. Is this a dynasty team? Maximum effort. If you are in the chat, please let me know. You bought a whiteboard, but this looks like a dynasty team because it's showing draft capital. Like the assets that you have make it look like. No, this is definitely a dynasty team. Okay. Gotcha. You probably just accidentally. Lego giveaway at 100 likes. Not my Legos. These are my precious. Another start sit from Vice City. We got Jaden Daniels back healthy this week. Woo! Running back, got to start Hampton. Got to start Kamara. Wide receiver, trying to figure it out here. Love that you have Warren at tight ends. Ugly. Ugly. We'll go DJ Moore for sure. Lost Lamb. It's literally between Torrey Horton and Stephon Diggs right now. That is brutalious. So who does Seattle have this week? Seattle has Arizona. And we've got Diggs taking on Carolina. Ugh. Gotta start Diggs. And then flexing. Since Charbonnet's coming back from injury, we'll go with Nick Chubb this week. Yeah, 14 teams are brutal, man. Absolutely brutal. Yeah, Diggs will get more snap share. You are correct. All right, so next team here is going to be Aussie89. He said, "Hi guys, I didn't expect my team to start off 3-0. I'm wondering how I approach the rest of the season and what moves to make." Aussie is a blueprint, my bad. So X-Skull Razor just moved to 3-0. Again, any blueprints that are submitted tonight, any live blueprints submitted tonight, we'll be doing on the next Dynasty stream on Friday. X-Skull Razor. Let's check this out. Just moved to 3-0. I'm looking for any moves to upgrade my receiver room. Your team is the Idiots. Congrats on being 3-0. Your points for definitely show it. You are third in the league in points for. Yep, third in the league. Man, this guy's been popping off. What did I just do? What is this? That's annoying. This guy scored 444 points. It's because of his running backs. That's why. So we got the Idiots here. Oh, yo, JT. Let's go, dude. That's awesome. Jaden Daniels at QB is great. He's coming back from the injury. And then looking at running back here. We got JT, Chuba, Jalen Warren, and then Aaron Jones is hurt, and then Nick Chubb, which is still solid. Very, very solid. You have JT. I mean, how can you complain about that? AJ Brown, Zay Flowers, Shakir, Juwan Jennings, Burden, Wandell. Wide receiver's pretty rough here. And then Laporta, which is kind of middle of the road at the moment. So wide receiver definitely going to be a priority here. Your top two are fine. AJ Brown and Flowers are great. They are a little boom bust on a weekly basis. I would be trying to do anything you can to up tier from Khalil Shakir here just to kind of raise your ceiling a little bit at wide receiver beyond your top two guys. And Juwan Jennings does still carry value. In fact, he's pretty close to Shakir. So what I would do is I would take both of those guys and I would try to get up to Olave. Kind of that value range of like Olave, Debo, Terry, those types of guys. I would get any one of those guys if you were to package Shakir and Jennings. That'd be my first up tier. My second move would be to try and buy low on some of the guys that showed just a little bit of a higher ceiling than Sam Laporta at tight end. I don't usually recommend these types of moves. I would pivot from Sam Laporta to Tyler Warren or Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft is, again, before that knee injury, when he was kind of banged up in a tough matchup against Cleveland, he looked phenomenal. Clearly his ceiling is insanely high. And when you're looking at Warren, he just hasn't found the end zone yet. So once he does that, I mean, he's going to be great. He has the most consistent target volume of any of these guys. And then I would probably go ahead and take Jaylen Warren, and I would pivot there as well. And hey, let's take Drake May, actually. Never mind. We're going to take Drake May. We're going to trade Drake May for another position. So Drake May right now in the expert rankings overall is 89th. And realistically, probably want you to look for a wide receiver in that range. You could try getting Chris Godwin before he comes back healthy. Another one that you could also eye is like a J.K. Dobbins or a DeAndre Swift. I would look for one of those types of running backs or that type of wide receiver, like a Godwin or a Swift. So those will be your three moves there, is moving off of, again, as a backup, like Drake May is just overkill. That would be my comment, I think, for this team is just like, hey, Drake May, you don't need Drake May. Like Drake May was nice when Daniels went down for a minute, but to have a guy like Drake May on your bench most of the time is just a waste of production. Somebody else could use him in the league, and you can go get Trevor Lawrence to back up Jaden Daniels off of waivers, and Trevor Lawrence has some nice upside weeks. So that's what I would recommend if I were you. Wide receiver, definitely going to be your biggest area of need, I think. Trying to get another high upside wide receiver 3, like a third wide receiver option would be really good. But running back is pretty much taken care of with JT, Chuba, and Warren. Serviceable guys beyond JT. You got your elite guy in JT, so... Let me know if you have any questions on that, man. Your whiteboard will be coming to you within the next couple of days, and we'll send that to you in the chat of your submission, of the submission that we get that you had on the site. We'll mark it complete, and then we'll send you that link of the whiteboard. And again, if any of you guys want any team reviews, trade questions, etc., feel free to follow the link that I'm dropping in the comments right now. It's also pinned. If it gets, if this one gets buried, but I'll keep dropping it in here for you guys for your convenience. That way you don't miss it or anything. Got some start sits. And buddy, we got yours in as well. Your team review. Appreciate you, man. So start sit from Ken Powell. Bo Nix or Drake May. We'll go with the rushing upside guy, Drake May. Bo Nix has been kind of on and off. Definitely got to go Judkins this week and Hampton. And then Neighbors Nico at wide receiver, Zach Ertz at tight end. I agree. Then you flex in Trey Benson or Zay Flowers or Olave this week. That is a tough one. That's a very tough one. This week, we've got Baltimore taking on KC. And then we have Benson in the B tier taking on Seattle. Let's go for it. Let's go for Benson this week. Let's take a shot on Benson. Malik Neighbors had a really, really tough day against the Chiefs last week, so Flowers might have another slow week. Let's do the floor play, and let's take Trey Benson. Vice City got another start sit. QB, Brock Purdy. If he starts, Brock Purdy. If not, then you're stuck with Flacco, because Russ just got benched. Hampton, you have to. Jacobs, you have to start. Hampton, you have to start. It's going to get tough in the flex, I can already tell. Wide receiver, we got Nico. Then we're looking at JMO for sure. And then Ridley, Keon, or Judy. So this week we have Jerry Judy ranked in the G tier. We don't feel super good about him. We don't feel great about Calvin Ridley either, though. Calvin Ridley going to be in the H tier this week. And then Keon Coleman, again, we don't feel great about Keon Coleman either. So these are all pretty tough. We do have the tier advantage to Jerry Judy. Obviously, you'll want to start Terry if he plays. But since you're on the stream listening, you obviously start Terry if he's healthy and plays. If not, I think I would go Judy. Then the rest of your guys are going to be running backs here for sure. Mason, ETN, and Benson. No questions asked. Your starting lineup really does fill out super nicely here. I like that quite a bit. Dennis said, Nathan, what's on the whiteboard for those who don't know? Yeah, good question. I will actually, can I pull that over? Let me, you know what? Let me go ahead and pull one over to show you guys. Here. No! Oh, it's so finicky sometimes. Okay, here you go. This is a whiteboard. This is what you get after we do your review. Usually a couple days after, we kind of have to get all your assets together. And we show you basically your 4 factors, your roster tag, your league power ranking, strengths and weaknesses. Your moves that we recommend are always listed on here, as well as including a final verdict. Kind of the top waiver priorities that we mention when we do a review as well. We make sure, oh my gosh, this is so annoying. We make sure we drop in here for you guys, include some of the top players there, positional grades, your starting roster, how it fills out, some of your top bench assets, league team settings, etc. Just want you guys to be able to see your team, and be able to look at some of your strengths and weaknesses. And then the 4 factors is really, like, honestly, our pride and joy. We talk about this a lot when it comes to just what is your upside, your floor, your overall risk profile. How can we improve that? What are some of the moves that need to be done based off of these 4 factors? And that's that. So that's your whiteboard right there, folks. Thanks for reminding me about that, Denik. So again, guys, if you want one of those, feel free to follow the link that I just dropped in there. It's also pinned, and I'm happy to review your team tonight, and you will get one of those whiteboards after we do that team review. Cat's Eye said, do all team reviews have to be the $79 whiteboard option? No, they do not. So that price point, $79, is for non-domain subscriber, it's non-subscribers that don't use code domain. So if you actually sign up for the annual Mother Flocker tier with that link that I just dropped in the chat, you get a free team review voucher, where you would be able to select a whiteboard if you wanted to get a whiteboard for your redraft team, and we'll be able to do that for you on stream. And that ends up basically being like $8 a month for the year, for that annual subscription that comes with the free team review. If you are already a code domain, if you already use code domain and you're already subscribed on the site, you're an annual Mother Flocker, or maybe you're a monthly Mother Flocker, then you get a 30% discount on everything. So if you're a code domain user, then you'll get a team review for $55, not $79. So hopefully that answers your question, Cat's Eye. Yeah, the whiteboard's pretty sick. Dime's getting an error to submit message on my trade sit voucher. Try to refresh the page. See if that helps. All right, let's do bootleggers here. Bootleggers team. Just want to know what your feelings are on this roster. What moves should I look to make going forward? Yeah, let's check this out. Smoking Marlboro Reds, you're 2-1. Points for is middle of the road. This is a 1 QB 10 team, start 8. So first off, looking at the guys on waivers, Keon Coleman and Josh Downs really stand out to me. Darnell Mooney also stands out to me. I like all those receivers there. Those are pretty good options. But Caleb Williams and Daniel Jones at QB, solid. I mean, both of those guys have been putting up 20 plus. Kenneth Walker, Alvin Kamara, Travion Henderson, Pollard, Charbonnet. A lot of depth there. You got a lot of depth really at every single one of these positions. Guess what we're going to do in a 10-team start 8? We're going to up-tier bootlegger. That's what we're going to do here. But yeah, Walker, Kamara, Henderson, Pollard, and Charbonnet is going to be... Again, it's deep. It's a little bit questionable, though. It's a lot of running back 2s right now in terms of like rest of season rankings, so probably more like a 5-ish. Probably a 5er. And then wide receiver, you got Amon-Ra, Nico, Garrett Wilson, Tet, Jordan Addison. The upside is much, much higher here. You've got the best wide receiver room in the league by far. That's your strength by far. And then Tyler Warren. Loving Tyler Warren right now. Giving him a 7. He's had a slow couple of weeks. No touchdowns, but those will come in time. Dime submitted in 482K. Awesome. Awesome, man. Appreciate you. I will get to that. We'll get to that soon. Okay, so moves that I want to make here. Honestly, I probably want to get a couple of upgrades at running back. Addison's never going to see your starting lineup because you're so elite at wide receiver beyond him. I think most of our moves are going to be at the running back position. So let's do a Kenneth Walker up tier. All your targets, honestly, are just going to be higher upside running backs. So we'll do a Walker up tier here. And let's get to... I would like to be aggressive. I would love to buy low on Josh Jacobs or Omarion Hampton. I know Omarion Hampton technically not buying low because he came off a big day, but not everybody is adjusting accordingly to his rank rest of the season. Avery and I are being very aggressive. A lot of people are not necessarily, but I would try to up tier using probably like a Jordan Addison to get up to like a Jacobs or a Hampton. Second move here would definitely be Pollard and Charbonnet. I'd take Pollard and Charbonnet, and I would be up tiering there. And I would work on getting up to Quinshawn or Javonte. I love both of those guys. Love both of them. If you can't get that high, then you can go for Scattaboo. Honestly, Scattaboo or Benson if you want to. Benson, Quinshawn, Javonte, Scattaboo. And then that would be my other move when we're moving like a Jordan Addison, because I want to stick with Henderson and I want to stick with Kamara. I do think they still have a decent chance at having good upside this year. I don't necessarily want to sell them low. We can take Jordan Addison and just either include him in an up tier or move him straight up for a running back, and that's where I would go ahead and just target like a Scattaboo or a Jordan Mason. I like both of those guys a lot. So hopefully that makes sense for your team. Again, love the upside of your wide receivers. You do have a little more risk at running back specifically. That's going to be why your risk score, when you're talking about the 4 factors on the whiteboard, is going to be a little bit higher, is specifically because of your running backs. But I mean, the rest is looking really, really comfortable to a point where you can just move off of Addison. You don't need them, and you can use that extra value to go get these upgrades at running back to maximize your upside, maybe get a little more safety there as well, and you'll be chilling. As far as waiver priorities go, I mean, if you want to go get a wide receiver, go for it to replace Addison. You can go get Downs. I mean, heck, why not? If you wanted to go an upside play, you can go for Mooney as well. But you don't have to be super aggressive there on waivers. There's not really anyone that catches my eye there. You could get Ramondre. Since you're doing up tiers and you're going to have like a couple of extra bench spots with those up tiers, You could go get Ramondre to pair with Travion Henderson as insurance. You could try to get ahead of the game with Harvey, see if he ends up getting more increased workload there in Denver. So hopefully that makes sense, man. Let me know if you have any questions or follow-ups. I know you bought this on stream. I'm not sure if you were on the actual stream, but happy to answer your questions and follow-ups if you are still watching. And he is only really starting 2 running backs, so I'm trying to upgrade because I just use my wide receivers for flex every week. Yeah, no, that's totally understandable. Again, wide receivers your strength, and it was intentionally your strength. I'm going through this in the Flock League right now where I drafted wide receiver as my strength, so I really only needed a second running back that I was really cool with. And I mean, you're looking really, really good here. So Amon-Ra, Nico, and then flexing Garrett Wilson and Tet is awesome. So I think you're on the right track there, looking to make a couple up tiers at running back here. I think we're both on the same page and kind of have the same outlook and idea for your team. So we'll get that whiteboard to you, that we'll get it cleaned up, finished up for you, sent to you within the next couple of days. And if you have any follow-ups until then, feel free to reach out, tag me in the Discord, whatever. Went 0 running back because I had the 110. I mean, going 0 running back and landing Kamara, Kenneth Walker, and Henderson is pretty insane, even in a 10 team. Like, you should be really proud. This is a great roster. All right, Denick, you're up next, my man. We got a start sit actually from... Let me refresh real quick and make sure I'm not missing anybody else's. Again, guys, follow that link if you want to get your team review, get your start sit, trade questions answered, etc. So at QB, not seeing who's available at QB. I don't see a QB option there, so I'm assuming maybe you just have to get someone off waivers. But definitely have to start CMC, obviously. This is a 1 QB 12 team start 7. This is odd. Hey, gang, I'm gonna send you another start sit question voucher because this one didn't seem to work. Format doesn't look correct on this one, so let's see if we can get that resubmitted. Yeah, it says start 7. But I can't see all 7 starting spots. And no QB options to pick from. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and resubmit there, feel free and I'll be happy to answer that. Probs user error, I'll fix it. Yeah, no problem, man. I just sent you a voucher so you can resubmit. All right, 482K. This is Dimes in the chat. Is this Avery or Nathan, or does it not matter? This is Nathan. Hello. I'm Nathan. Avery's making tacos. Actually, he's not making tacos anymore. He's probably already eaten them. Yeah, no problem, Vice City. Happy to help you, man. Appreciate you stopping by. First ever fantasy season. How we feeling on the squad? Yeah, Caleb Williams at QB. Definitely over Purdy because he's banged up. And Caleb Williams has had a pretty nice high floor. He's been running the ball quite a bit too. So Gibbs and JT at running back. Igbuka and Puka at wide receiver. This is a 10-team start 9 PPR 1 QB. And you have JT, Gibbs, and Puka. And you hit on Igbuka? How am I feeling about this team? I'm feeling like you're kicking butt, brother. Good gosh. So Tyquan Thornton had a really good day last week. He got a good amount of target volume. I think I'd recommend starting Josh Downs over Tyquan Thornton this week because Alec Pierce is actually in concussion protocol, and that is going to kind of change their schematic makeup for all those wide receivers. And I think that'll result in Josh Downs being on the field more often than he has been to start the season. So as long as Alec Pierce is out, and I would follow that closely, I would expect to flex Josh Downs here. Tucker Kraft, I think, is also a great flex option. I would take him over all these guys. And then I do love Quinshon here on your last flex spot. This is a great redraft team, dude. For your first ever fantasy season, you have killed it. So you should be proud of yourself. Good job. Best of luck to you. I hope you can make a run and win your championship this year, man. But it's looking like you're definitely off on the right foot for sure. Hit on Judkins, which was huge. Failed to update. Are you serious? Oh my gosh. The amount of times that I have to do that drives me up a wall. You're good, dude. You're good. I was just having fun with it. Hope he brings you some tacos as well. Thanks. Yeah, I already had food though, so I'm full. I don't want tacos. All right, let me actually get this answered since it bugged out on me. I moved Josh Downs instead of Tyquan Thornton this week. And then the rest is set. Traded McBride, Evans, Devonta Smith, Golden for Puka. Wow. Wow, nice deal. Traded Tillman and Hopkins for Judkins. Oh my gosh. That is wild. That is crazy, dude. Nice. Trade question from Psychology. This is a redraft 1 QB 6 team, start 7. Jacobs and Nico for Saquon. Nah. Hold Jacobs and Nico here. Even in a 6 team, I'd take Jacobs and Nico. All right, Denick, you're up next, man. Let's get this show on the road. Appreciate you waiting. We've had a pretty good queue tonight, so. My big $200 league started rough with Worthy being out in Hampton first 2 weeks and Chase Brown bust. Positive, I have Benson. First redraft review, really needs some help. Hashtag Domain Rookie of the Year champ. Also, Nathan, you might need to submit a team review to Avery for the Yellow League. Dude. Oh my gosh. Let me show you guys my Yellow League. It's bad. I need to figure something out. Oh, wait, no, it's not my Yellow League. It's my other. My Yellow League is fine, okay? I started 1 and 2, but my depth is ridiculous. It's actually not that ridiculous, but I have Genty, Kamara, Devonta Smith, Igbuka, BTJ, and Adams. And I have Dobbins on my bench. I think my team in Yellow League is fine. The one that I'm like brutal, like absolutely brutalized, I think is the Pink League. Yeah, so in the Pink League, I have Jamar Chase and Chase Brown. No, it's not that league. Crap. Okay, I'm getting distracted. I need to stop. Tell me to stop. Nathan, stop. Okay, cool. I think that worked because I told myself to stop. Okay, so my Yellow League is fine, Denick. When I kick your butt and dominate everybody in that league, then I'll submit a team review. You don't get points for bench players. Yeah, I know. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Nate, question for you. Are Dynasty Blueprints getting reviewed later tonight, or is that happening in a later date live stream? We're going to push it back to Friday. We're getting slammed right now. So we're going to do reviews for at the normal time on Friday night for Dynasty. Sounds like you got an up tier in the Yellow League. Yeah, I'm thinking about it, honestly. If any of you guys are in the Yellow League, like you, Denick, I am looking to potentially up tier. If anybody in that league needs a down tier, then they can come to me. Yes, Jacob, I am still answering start-sit questions. If you want to follow this link, submit your start-sit question. I'm happy to help you there. Just checking out Denick's team here. He is currently 8th in the power rankings and 0-3. So let's check this out. Yeah, you did have a rough go at it to start there. Drake May looking solid. Hampton, Benson, Chase Brown looked a lot uglier until Connor went down, and now you have Benson, which may save your season, honestly. Zach Charbonnet, Bashal Tootin, and then you have BTJ, DK, Worthy, Ridley, Keon Coleman, and then Tucker Kraft and Harold Fannin. So looking at the waivers here, oh, that's funny. In this league, Joe Mixon's on waivers, which I'm not even faulting them for that. But in a 14-team start 8, that's pretty crazy that he's not even rostered. Like Jaden Reed not being rostered in a 14-team start 8, go ahead, Denick, and just go ahead and snag Jaden Reed. I know he went on IR, but he's designated to come back in a few weeks. Why did I just look up Jaden Reed and Sleeper gave me Joe Reed? Golly. So broken collarbone. Golly, never mind. He might be out for a good chunk of time because Hollywood broke his collarbone last year, had the same sort of surgery, and he didn't come back until like the end of the season. Honestly, still something that you could look into. But okay, let's check this out. 0-3. So Denick, this is like one of those situations where, as an 0-3 team, I would start making some aggressive moves. So one thing that I would do, honestly, is at wide receiver, Worthy is currently ranked pretty low. I think you got to stick with him until he's back healthy. DK, on the other hand, I would rather have Ricky Pearsall than DK. I'd rather have JMO than DK. Any chance you could buy low on JMO with how disappointing he's been, I'd rather have Olave than DK. Move DK, pivot to Chris Olave or Ricky Pearsall. They have high upside. Ricky Pearsall's in a better offense. And again, all those guys are essentially equally as risky for their own reasons right now, so I'd try to make that move. Let's try to up tier from Calvin Ridley and Keon Coleman. So what we'll do there is we'll try to get you up to a relevant guy. Go balls to the wall with QJ. Try to get QJ. A lot of people are not believers in QJ. I have my own questions about QJ. Avery has his own questions about QJ, but we both honestly are like, hey, why not? Why not take the shot on him when guys like Ridley and Keon aren't producing? So I would try that. Yeah, pretty sure we read out for a while. Yeah. DK move, got it. Yep. And then that other up tier. So third move that I would do here is, this is a high stakes league. People might be kind of scared of Chase Brown. I'm going to recommend this pivot for you. I would legit, if you can pivot off of Chase Brown for Benson or Scattaboo, I'm doing it. Benson, Scattaboo, or Travion Henderson. So here's the thing with Benson and Scattaboo. They're moving up right now. Benson is not necessarily moving up. So if you can move Chase Brown, or not Benson, Henderson is not necessarily moving up. You may be able to pivot off of Chase Brown for Travion Henderson. I would try that. He's just as risky, honestly, because it's like, when's he going to get crazy opportunity? You're 0-3. I don't think you can afford to ask that question. I think you just have to go for the upside at this point. One move that I would consider, and again, I'm not going to put this on the actual whiteboard. I'll add it as a comment. You could consider riding out the season with Fannin and streamable tight ends off of waivers for the rest of the season, since tight end isn't really a priority. And you could move Tucker Kraft straight up for a difference maker at wide receiver, or even use him to get like an elite level up tier. Like think DK and Tucker Kraft for like Tet McMillan or Rome Odunze or Garrett Wilson or BTJ. You could try like Tucker Kraft and DK for BTJ. So that would be something to look into. Yeah. That's right. You have Benson. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, Chase for Henderson or Chase for Scattaboo. Chase Brown for Scattaboo. You could also take Charbonnet and Bashal, Tootin, and I would up tier there as well. Again, this is a start 8, so be aggressive with your depth. Just up tier. You only need like 1 or 2 guys that you may have to plug into your flex any given week, any given time. Beyond that, I don't care about your depth. Not with you being 0-3 at this point. Try to maximize that upside opportunity as much as possible so you can start racking up points in the short term to start getting a couple of dubs so that you can get into a position where you're feeling a little more comfortable. Capiche? Let me know if that makes sense, Denik. If you have any follow-ups, you know where to find me. You can keep dropping questions in the chat too. I'm happy to answer those follow-ups as well. Denik definitely making a run for Rookie of the Year. Tyler Warren or Denik? That's the real question. Actually, who's the front runner for Rookie of the Year right now in the NFL? Anybody know? All right, gang, let's try this again. QB, Daniel Jones or Jalen Hurts? We'll go with Hurts this week. I do think he's safer. Running back, he's got a better matchup too. He's going up against Tampa, and the Colts are taking on the Rams. The Rams could just blitz the crap out of Daniel Jones and make him super flustered all day. Got to start Hampton for sure with CMC. And then at wide receiver, we've got Nico, who's a must start, Sutton, who's a must start. Pitty has a tougher week this week going up against the Rams. There is no Alec Pierce, though. He could be fine. But if you're talking about floor, and by the way, I'm going to go Njoku over Gadsden and Waller here pretty easily. I do think I'm going to go ahead and stick with the floor of Travis Etienne. Pittman had a great week last week. He had a nice week 1. He had like an 8-pointer, I think, in week 2. I do think his floor is a little bit lower than Travis Etienne's right now. Etienne going up against San Fran. He scored 18, 16, and 11 points against Houston last week in a tough matchup. There's no more Nick Bosa for San Fran. He just tore his ACL. That's one less guy that they have to deal with on the front line. So I do think Travis Etienne could have a pretty solid day. Appreciate you, man. Denik said, copy. At what point do I sell Hampton for value? 0-4. Hampton, I'm not going to lie. Hampton would be the only way that you could get out of that 0-4 hole. If he like really disappoints, then I guess we could reevaluate, but I'm thinking hold Hampton. I would ride or die with Hampton at this point, since you're 0-3, and if you end up 0-4, like, just cross your fingers and hope that he gets it. It's clear Travis Hunter, right? Yeah, right. Igbuka's got to be the front runner. Igbuka, Warren, Hampton are top 3 right now, according to Falky. Okay. Yeah, that checks out. Hampton had a big day. Warren had a nice start to the season. Igbuka's been the most consistent by far, so him being the front runner makes total sense. You high on Gadsden in the future? Potentially. It was nice to see him get that target volume, but when you're talking about snap share there, it was a 3-way split, almost an even 3-way split down the line with all 3 of those tight ends in that offense. So he's gonna have to get more snap share before I'm like, yeah, start him over Njoku. No problem, gang. Happy to help you. How many start sit questions do we get in the season pass? I think it's a start sit and a trade question. Again, if you want to get that season pass, you just follow this link that I dropped in here. But also, Jacob, if you'd rather if you want to sign up for the annual Mother Flocker tier using code domain, you will get those start sit and trade questions, but you'll also get a free team review voucher that you can submit, and we can do that on stream for you. All right, Buddy is up next here. We got Lickaloo. Wow, nice. Panicking on Jamar and Ladd. I got offered Rasheed and Zay Flowers for Chase. Not sure if I should accept. I've been trying to trade for an elite QB and tight end, but no dice. I will have to overpay. Okay, so you're 2-1 right now. Middle of the road, actually bottom of the road. You have the second least amount of points for in this league, but you are 2-1. You have 1-2 straight. So 10 teams start 7 PPR. Harbaugh said today he's earned more snaps today, so I snagged him, hoping he gets just wins at the spot. Yeah, that'd be awesome if he's earned them. BNB said, "What are you going to the start sit questions?" BNB, I cleared all the start sit questions. If you literally just submitted, then I will answer that for you after I do this review for sure. But I've been answering start sits on and off the whole time. We just do them with the team reviews. And again, if you want to get your start sit question answered, BNB, you can feel free to drop or follow this link, submit your trade question, start sit, and I'll answer that for you tonight. So Daniel Jones at QB, honestly, I mean, sure. Why not? That's pretty funny, actually. But it's crazy that we're here. 29 points, 22 points, and 15 points the last couple of weeks. Very efficient. Gotten some rushing touchdowns, get some QB sneaks, some nice rushing upside. Tougher matchup against the Rams. Toughest matchup by far. It might be a little slower this week, but you're going to be bottom of the league, like in terms of your QB grade, but that's fine. You just submitted. Yes, I got you, brother. I will get yours answered in just a sec. JT, Hampton, Brees, and Mason, Ja'Cory Crossy Merritt, Charbonnet, Tootin. A lot of depth there at running back. It's going to be a great grade. Definitely deserving of being second at running back among your league mates. Wide receiver going to be a lot weaker. Chase, Igbuka, Ladd, Godwin, Hunter. Hunter been the biggest disappointment by far. And then Juwan Johnson, he produces as well. But you're going to have a low grade there just because it's kind of up in the air. But 15, 15, and 11 points the last 3 weeks. 11, 9, and 8 targets. He just does this sometimes. It's pretty crazy. He's never gone on a run like this literally ever in his career. Ever. So that is worth noting. It's like he's never had consistent target volume like this in his career. So he looks really good. Just saw the new Flock League video. Rip. Yeah, I know. Big rip for me. Yeah, Jacob, I think it's one start sit and one trade question voucher. But honestly, did you just sign up for the season pass? Jacob, let me know if you signed up for the season pass. Yeah, David, I just noticed you said that up there with Relentless. That was like a August sale where we did like the 2 start sits and the 2 trade questions. I think it's 1-1 right now. But Jacob, if you just signed up for the season pass, I will send you a couple more. I'll send you some more start sit questions. Like, no problem. So clearly, like you said, again, running back, you said you're trying to trade for an elite QB and tight end. I don't think you need to trade for an elite QB and tight end. You're 2-1 right now. And yeah, your points for is a little bit weak, but I think we can get that up, honestly, by upgrading wide receiver a little bit. Running back is taken care of. That's for sure. Honestly, I'd probably move Brees for another wide receiver. Okay, yeah. Hey, Jacob, send me your Flock username, and I'll send you another start sit trade question. I'll send you a couple more vouchers. Okay, so with your moves here, let's look at some upside moves here. Lad McConkey, let's take Lad. And let's go ahead and move him for Cortland Sutton. Or try to buy low on BTJ. I think both of those guys have higher upside at this point and consistency than Lad might have at this point. So that would be my first move to raise your upside there. Jamar Chase, I would take Jamar Chase and Jordan Mason, and I would go try to get Puka Nacua or Amon-Ra St. Brown. So that would be an up tier. This is a 10-team start 7, so remember that upside is literally everything. So I understand why you want to get an elite QB and elite tight end. But Juwan Johnson, the fact of the matter is, buddy, I'm not trying to be condescending. Your username's buddy. Juwan Johnson is producing right now. He's getting 9 to 12 targets every week, double digits every week, and Daniel Jones is scoring 20-plus points. So it's not pretty. I mean, you're right. It ain't pretty at QB and tight end. But you're getting by and they're producing right now. So I honestly think it would be worth getting upgrades at wide receiver before anything else, because that by far is your biggest weakness at a very, very important skill position. Because the onesies, you can get by with the onesies. Like the onesies are replaceable. The onesies are streamable. Your really big upside moves are going to lie at running back and wide receiver, which is why your third move is going to be Breece Hall. I think we're going to trade Breece Hall, probably package him with like Zach Charbonnet, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, and go ahead and just move up a tier there to like a Jacobs or a Bucky. I feel much more comfortable about both of those guys in their respective situations, and they're both honestly pretty achievable at the moment. Jacobs has been he's been okay the first 3 weeks, but he's expected to move up quite a bit just when you're talking about expected fantasy points, touchdown production, all that stuff. So Hey, Jacob, again, send me your Flock username, and I am happy to send you a couple extra vouchers. Just let me know what your Flock username is, and I'll give you another start sit. I know that was confusing. Like that was not clear. So that was not your fault. That was my fault. So I'll send you a couple extra vouchers there. You might be on a delay. That might be why you're not hearing me. Okay, so hopefully this makes sense for you, buddy. Again, like as a 2-1 team that's kind of bottom in points for, we just want to maximize upside. You're looking at QB and tight end. I'm telling you, don't prioritize QB and tight end as much as trying to maximize wide receiver and running back. And then you're going to be chilling, man, because when you're flexing a guy like Josh Jacobs or Bucky, that is a league-winning move. And when you're getting someone like a Sutton or a BTJ with the upside opportunity that they have, that's really going to be the move that you're going to want to make. So please let me know if you have any questions or any follow-ups on this. I'm happy to help you. We will get the whiteboard to you as soon as we can within the next couple of days. All right, we got a number of trade questions, start sits here as well. Let me check out Murmur here, or Merman. Merman, appreciate you signing up, man. How close do you guys value Judkins and Genty? Right now, they're pretty close. Genty's like a high-end running back 2. Judkins is like a mid to low-end running back 2 right now. Judkins will probably move up in future weeks. So, Psychality, we got a trade question from him. Josh Jacobs and Nico for JT. This is your 6 team. Golly. Still is crazy looking at this. It's like, what the heck? And it's a start 7. I mean, yeah, sure. Sure. Take JT. He's dropping 35 points a week right now. So last trade question, if you think this one bad too, I ain't trading nothing with this roster. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's a good move for JT. Yeah, no problem, Drake. Okay, so this is Brady's team. Mahomes at QB, running back. We're looking at Henry as a must start. We're looking at Hampton as a must start. Wide receiver, we've got Puka for sure. We got JSN for sure. Tight end, Hunter Henry over Fanning because he just balled out. And then it's basically between Benson or Olave this week. We're pretty high on Benson. He's got a good matchup against Seattle on Thursday, so we'll go ahead and ride it out with Benson as the bell cow. Appreciate you, Brady. G. Bogdan 24. At QB, we got Daniels. And then I'm probably going to go Baker over Daniel Jones. He's playing Philly, which is tough. But Daniel Jones has it pretty tough against the Rams, and as I'm a Colts fan, I'm trying not to be biased. Like, I don't trust Daniel Jones yet. He looks good. There are really good signs. I'm trying not to get excited, but I don't fully trust him yet to like ball out against the Rams. Wide receiver and running back, we got Hampton, JT, London, and Devontae Adams. Third guy is going to be between Devonta Smith and Higgins. It's Devonta Smith. Flex or tight end, Hawk or Ertz. Let's go with Hawkinson this week. And then flexing Alvin Kamara. And then your choice of Monty, Krosky, Merritt, Henderson, Mooney, and Higgins. Can't start Higgins. We're going to go with Monty. Actually, no, Monty's playing Cleveland. Frick. Crap. Oh, that's going to be rough. I still have him ranked higher than everybody else this week, though, because I don't trust Henderson, I don't trust Krosky Merritt, I don't trust Higgins. I think you got to go with Monty. Hockey 91. This is a redraft trade. 1 QB, 12 team start, 8 PPR. So let's say the QBs cancel out. Demario Douglas is nothing. Shipley's nothing. This is an up tier. This is essentially Chuba, Tyreek, and Shakir for Hampton. I mean, let me make sure you have the depth for it, but running back shaky. Wide receiver is shaky-ish. This is a big up tier move. This forces you to start Pacheco every week. Can we take away this junk that I have zero interest in? And then you replace Chuba with Chubb and Pacheco. I would do that. I would rather do that. Appreciate you, Hockey. I think the first trade you offered was fair to get Hampton, honestly. It's just I really don't like starting Pacheco. But if you don't make the deal, then you're going to have to regardless. I'd just like to keep Chuba if I can to pair with Hampton. So start sit from Playlord. Drake, Mayer, Mahomes. I'll go with Mahomes. Do not trust Jamar against Denver, so help, please. Thanks. JT must start. Bucky must start. JSN must start. Jamar Chase, you still have to start. Like, sorry, even in the worst game of the season that you're probably ever going to see for Cincinnati this year against a tough matchup in Minnesota, he still had like 10 points. We'll go Kraft, and then your last flex is Adams, Mason, or Judkins, or DJ Moore. That is really difficult. I mean, all right, folks, what's our upside play here? Cleveland this week. First of all, Adams, we have ranked pretty high. Adams, we have in the B tier. Judkins, we have in the B tier at running back. And then we have Jordan Mason in the B tier as well. I think I'm going to go with one of the running backs here because their floor is higher. Mason or Judkins. Minnesota taking on Pittsburgh. Cleveland taking on Detroit. Let's go with Jordan Mason. Levi, don't give me hope. Do not give me hope. You know the Colts find a way to choke every single year. They do not rise to the occasion. I tried so hard to be mad at them all year this year, all offseason, and then they have the audacity to actually look good? Gosh, let me be a pessimist. I'm never a pessimist. All right, we got a trade question from... this is a team review from Jonk85. Appreciate you, man. We will get this reviewed. I'm going to answer a couple of these trade questions. Big text, Jess. Javonte Montgomery, Rashee Rice for Bijan Robinson. This is a 1 QB 14 team redraft start 8 half PPR. Ooh, do you have the depth to do it? Achane, Benson, and Bijan. Then you have JJ, Sutton, Igbuka, and then Kincaid and Lamar. Yeah. Take it. Take Bijan. Colts out here destroying the draft pick order. I know! Daniel Jones is going to get that long-term deal. Dude, I can't... Until he starts looking like trash, I can't even throw a fit about it. He looks better than Kyler Murray right now. He looks better than Trevor Lawrence. He looks better than Stroud. He looks like the best quarterback in the AFC South. I feel like we're living in an alternate universe. Like, what is going on? Big difference, right? I know. That used to be the joke, like, big difference, right? Daniel Jones. Now it's like, yeah, big difference. Holy crap. Who knew it would take one of the most lackluster, cast-aside quarterbacks in the NFL to be the answer for the Indianapolis Colts? Nico Collins, 2 firsts for Justin Jefferson. With Justin Jefferson being so underwhelming right now, I think you can do this for less. I would do Nico Collins and a first for Justin Jefferson. I don't want to pay 2 future firsts right now. I'm not super big on doing that at the moment. Merman, appreciate you, brother. Justin Fields or Bo Nix? Justin Fields back. He's got the rushing upside. Bo Nix has been slow-ish and inconsistent. He had 13 this last week, 21 against the Colts, 8 against Tennessee. He's playing Cincinnati this week, which is a great, great matchup. Justin Fields with his rushing upside taking on Miami. Those are 2 very good matchups for these teams. I'll take the guy with the rushing upside. I'll take Fields. Hampton at running back. Then we got to go Benson. Honestly, we have him in the B tier this week. Malik Neighbors. And then Odunze's a must start. Igbuka will also be a must flex. Juwan Johnson at tight ends. Solid. So we'll go Igbuka here. Tet McMillan, honestly, he's got an injury right now, a calf injury. I'll go ahead and put Tet McMillan in here because I prefer him over these guys. But if Tet McMillan does not play, I will probably give precedence to Tony Pollard. It's ugly, but probably what we got to go with. All right, guys, still have a couple more spots for trade questions, start-sit questions. Let's do Jonk's team review here. Big Quack Energy. Nice. So Big Quack Energy is second in the power rankings. He is 1 and 2. Kind of middle of the road when it comes to production. A lot of points against. You are second in the league in points against. So I think you have a really good team. This is an 8-team start 10 still, but I like the upside that you have at wide receiver. Losing CD really, really sucks. But you should be able to survive over the next couple of weeks with the right moves. So first off, waivers. Let's get Chris Godwin off waivers. That would be my number one priority. Just get Chris Godwin off waivers. I already prefer like drop Aaron Jones or Charbonnet for Chris Godwin. This is a 2 QB. I would still, Daniel Jones, Fields, and Jackson Dart's serviceable. Hampton, Benson, it's towards the bottom of the league with QB, but you're still fine. Hampton, Benson, Charbonnet, Aaron Jones, Bashal, Tootin. Also going to be towards the bottom of the league, but Benson's a big riser, so I do feel okay with your top 2 guys. Puka, CeeDee Lamb, Nico, Pearsall, Michael Pittman, DJ Moore, Addison. Obviously, your strength at wide receiver, you're a heavy wide receiver team. And then Trey McBride, phenomenal. Great tight end. So here's what we're going to do. I think our main focus here is going to be making sure that wide receiver is solidified with no CD. And then we're probably going to make a couple of moves at running back for guys that are actually producing. So what I would do is go ahead and take Zach Charbonnet and Tootin, and let's do an up tier there at running back. Tootin and Charbonnet right now, rest of the season, are running back 34 and 35 respectively. Let's just get up to a guy that's going to consistently produce. Try to get up to Scattaboo. If you can't, we'll go a little lower and we'll go for like a Jaylen Warren. Feel better about either of those guys. Now, other moves here at wide receiver, because I think the rest of our moves lie at wide receiver. Jordan Addison is coming back healthy, which is great for him. Realistically, I think that his production is kind of going to be capped if Justin Jefferson can't even produce at a high level right now. The passing volume is abysmal. I would take DJ Moore and Addison, honestly, and I would up tier. I would take DJ Moore and Addison, and I would try to get up to Jameson Williams or George Pickens. I'd try JMO or George Pickens. George Pickens would be awesome because you have CeeDee Lamb, so really that would be my number one target for you. Other option here would be kind of like a smaller pivot. I would rather have Olave than Pittman. Try to move Pittman for Olave if you can. Or you could move Pittman for a running back at 69 overall. So you could try to move Pittman for like Scattaboo. Or you could move Pittman for Jordan Mason, David Montgomery, one of those types of guys. So try for Olave or try for one of those running backs in that value range. Again, your upside is phenomenal at wide receiver. I think you'll be able to survive until CD comes back because Hampton's on the up, Benson's on the up, Nico's finally producing, Pearsall's on the up, and Puka's just so steady. McBride's been so steady, and now you have Fields back with the rushing upside, so I think you'll be fine. Definitely want to make sure that you get Chris Godwin off waivers. Like, do it. I know it's an 8-team, so like I understand why he's on waivers, but you need to go get him. He's clearly the best option available of any of the guys available there. I mean, you're looking at the next best available guys being Ridley, Juwan Jennings, Tillman, Downs. No one has the upside that he has, especially with the Evans injury. So let's try to raise that floor a little bit at the running back position, try to get a little bit of extra help there, even if it means sacrificing some of your wide receiver depth. And then don't be afraid to up tier. Like, you can absolutely make some up tiers here, because this is an 8 team and I know it's a start 10. So like, you got to start 10 guys every single week. That's okay. You still can make an up tier or 2, and I feel all right about it. Depth is not the biggest concern of mine. It's all about the production upside of your team. So let me know if you have any questions on this, man. I'm happy to help you. We will get this whiteboard to you as soon as we can. It'll be within the next couple of days. And Jonk, so since you submitted a redraft, we do have the algorithm, which is something that you get every single week as an update, since you did do this option here. So we will get that algo option sent to you, where you can sign up your team on that link, get it, like, sign up for that program, and then we'll get that sent to you every single week. So if you have a question about that, send me a DM on Discord and I'm happy to help you. But really appreciate you here, man. All right, guys, if you want to get your trade questions, start set questions answered, last chance here. We've got a couple more questions that have come in, but looks like traffic's going down a little bit. Appreciate you guys staying and hanging out. OJ05, 110 likes today, which is really great. This or Alvin Kamara and BTJ for Jacobs and Kelsey. Definitely would be holding Alvin Kamara and BTJ for Jacobs and Kelsey. This says Dynasty. I'm assuming this is redraft and not Dynasty. I'm going to operate under the assumption that this is redraft and not Dynasty, because if this is Dynasty, this is a smash, but this is definitely redraft. Let's take Chase here. I would not trade Kamara and BTJ for Jacobs and Kelsey. That's an overpay. This one is a nice little up tier to Chase. I'm lower on Chase with Browning, but I'm not that low on Chase. I'm good with this deal. Ben 101. So redraft, 1 QB 10 teams, start 8 PPR, no tight end premium. Bucky Irving, Drake London for Henderson and Jefferson. Jefferson and London are both kind of buy lows right now. Henderson versus Bucky. We're just a lot higher on Bucky. I would hold Bucky and London here, man. I'm optimistic that Henderson will be on the rise, but it's not a guarantee. And Ramondre will still be there. So let's stick with Bucky and London right now. Appreciate you, man. All right, guys, that's going to do it. So really appreciate you guys coming and hanging out tonight. Did a good number of team reviews. Happy to help you guys with more of your teams in the future. I'm sure we'll be doing plenty of whiteboards as the season progresses and you guys kind of try to figure out what to do with your teams. But again, we will see you guys again. I think tomorrow Avery's going to be streaming before the game. And then we will see you again over the weekends. Good luck in your matchups. If you have any questions, follow-ups, we'll be answering trade questions on and off screen all week. Never going to leave you hanging. So appreciate you guys coming and hanging out tonight. We had a good turnout. Plenty of likes on the stream, which was awesome. And I hope you guys have a good Wednesday night. Twos, everybody.
Bye.